how are you? Hope you had a great week. Welcome again to my channel, and I'm really grateful for your support and for those who joined the family, new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and even to those who shared with their friends. I'm happy also people wanted to try out the recipe of the chicken wrap, so I'm looking forward to get feedback of how it went. So today, guys, we are not going to use fire today, so I'm going to make apple cider vinegar. If you've heard about apple cider vinegar, I'm sure most of the women know about it. So this is the apple cider vinegar with the mother pulp. As you know, it's an expensive vinegar, and it also has very many health benefits to everyone. So we're going to learn how to make one at home, and then we're going to do pickles. So pickles are great for sandwich. You can slip them into bread when you're doing your breakfast, and they can also be a nice snack when you're enjoying your afternoon or whichever time of the day. So let's just dive in to the recipe. For the apple cider, we're going to need apples, sugar, and distilled water. Just 3 ingredients. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to dice the apples, and then we're going to add sugar and water. So the tools you need are obviously a knife, and you need a pitcher. It can be glass or it can be food approved plastic. So mine is acrylic or food approved plastic, I would say that. Then you would need a cover, a loose cover. So probably you might even use a mason jar, which I was supposed to get, but when I wanted to get it, I couldn't manage because I was doing another job. So we'll just get into it. So I have some water in my jug, in my Pyrex jug. So we're going to just start by dicing the apples. So for the apples, the more organic the apples, the better for you. So for the apples, just keep in mind that we are not going to remove anything. There, you like eating your apples, and then you leave the middle part with the seed. For this recipe, for the apple cider, we need everything in the apple. So I will just dice them, put them aside. Here are our diced apples. I used 6 apples. So the number of apples you're going to use is not really limited. However, you will check on the pitcher you're using, or the jug, or the mason jar, and check if it will all fit in. So I'll just drop them in. I'm going to drop them into the pitcher. So guys, you know, the apple cider vinegar helps with balancing the pH. It also is a good benefit for maintaining the balance of the pH actually, and it's also good for digestion. So this is a win-win for your kitchen. And you know, how much do we buy it for? I think it's 500 shillings or 700 shillings, depending on where you buy it. So that will be very good money to save. So for the sugar, the amount of sugar will be 1 tablespoon for every apple. So we had 6 apples, but don't worry if you go overboard or if you put less. The sugar helps with helping the culturing of the vinegar. So that was, how many did I put? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just a little bonus. So I put 6 tablespoons for each apple. So you would put even more. You see my picture is quite big, so 6 apples have fit very well inside with a lot of space. So I'm going to take 2 cups of water. Distilled water and filtered water is the best to use. So for the water, you need about 2 cups, or you just eyeball, but don't worry about the measurements. So I'm just pouring the water. You can stir the sugar. You can stir the sugar before you can stir the sugar in the water before pouring it into the pitcher. But I am so happy I have a lot of space, so I'm just going to swing the pitcher side by side, and it's actually going to dissolve the sugar. So really guys, this is such an easy recipe. So this is it. I can actually add more. I can actually add more water. So guys, you realize as your vinegar is getting ready over the days, the apples might come up. So if you have many apples that reach somewhere above, somewhere like here, just try and put less water, because when they come up, it's going to, you don't want them to spill over. So you can also put them halfway and look for something heavy like a glass, or actually a glass, and just put it to create pressure on the apples so that they don't come up. So for this apple cider vinegar, I had not prepared one prior, because you have to keep it for weeks for it to become the apple cider vinegar with the mother pulp. So we're going to take this journey together. We're going to come and check. So this is really it. So your ingredients are ready, and then you need to cover it with something loose. Don't cover it with something tight. You need to cover it with something that is breathable. You can use parchment paper to cover on top. You can use a cheesecloth. Anything that can allow it to breathe in and out is going to help. So I'm going to write the benefits on the description box, and I'm going to also give you a few tips here and there of what to do and what not to do. So when you're stirring, you need to stir like every day. You come and check, you stir a bit, and then you cover it back. Remember not to use metal to stir, because there's a reaction that is going on. When you put in the metal, it's going to react with the acid that is forming as vinegar, and that will not be good for your vinegar. So you can use plastic or you can use wooden. So I'm going to recommend a wooden spoon will work best. Once you're done with your preparing your vinegar, so I'm going to cover mine with a bag and use a rubber band. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of my skewers or a toothpick, and I'm just going to poke some holes. So these holes will help it breathe, because the bag not being poked is going to make it a bit non-breathable. So this you just need to put under room temperature, somewhere in the corner of your kitchen counter, not too warm a place, not too cold, and then it is going to be all right. In 2 weeks you keep monitoring, and now you'll be able to consume your apple cider vinegar. At least some tablespoons, 3 tablespoons in a day will work out fine for you and for your health. Before we go to the next video, there are a few things I would like to point out about apple cider vinegar. So the mixture starts turning into vinegar after 2 to 2.5 weeks, depending on the temperature or the weather you have around your home or your kitchen. From 3 weeks to infinity, the vinegar should be ready to use, and the longer it stays in your fridge or in your house, the harder a vinegar it will become. I prefer the storage to be in a refrigerator. Something also to note about, there is an active bacteria that when the vinegar is fermenting, it's called Acetobacter bacteria, and it needs aeration. That's why we use the breathable cloth, the filter paper, and also something that is loose, a lid that is loose and can allow air to get in. So don't put anything that is airtight to cover your mixture. It's advisable to take apple cider vinegar in small quantity, guys, because it is acidic. Too much of it may cause a problem, and as you consume it later on, it can affect your kidney, because the kidney won't be able to process the acid well. It's also advisable that you consume the vinegar with something, pair it with something. Probably it can be a salad dressing, or you can use it in juice. Some people prefer it in tea or water. The acidity is important to note that anyone who has issues with acidity, it's important to check with your doctor first if it's okay to consume apple cider vinegar. I will list on the description box the benefits, the health benefits that comes with apple cider vinegar. So normally 2 to 3 tablespoons per day is sufficient, and you know, 1 apple a day keeps the doctor away. So we could also say that 3 spoons of apple cider vinegar a day keeps the doctor away. So guys, we are on pickles. So our pickle is cucumber. So I decided to start with cucumber, then we go to the chilies, because you know it's gonna make the board a bit peppery. So I decided to start with the cucumber. So I diced a few on round shape of camera. So what we're gonna do, we need cucumbers, of course, we need vinegar, we need sugar. Very simple ingredients. When you're making pickles for breakfast, you might need some dill, you might need some turmeric. However, I did not have those ingredients, and I like my pickle sweet and very simple. So I'm going to show you how I like it, but I'm going to write for you ingredients for the other kind of pickle for cucumber. So I'm going to just dice this other one. So the lesser the seeds, the better, although I couldn't get cucumbers with less seeds, so because the seeds are going to fall inside the liquid as your pickle matures. But if you have this and it's for home consumption, it's still good. So just dice our cucumbers pretty quick. Tell me on the comments, how do you check whether your pickle is ready in the farm? If anyone has that info, I will really appreciate, because when you look at these pickles and think, sorry, cucumbers, one looks more succulent than the other. So you also need a jar, and the best jars are the mason jars or the glass jars, or anything that is sealable and is glass, because you find that there are different grades of plastic and they may react when you're using vinegar and you're having acidic situation. However, for pickles, there are food graded jars that are plastic that can be used for pickles, and they're easily available, because you find that the glass ones are a bit costly. So remember last time I used this is for keeping ice. It's an ice box, so I just had to use what I had, and then I covered it with something that was breathable. Sorry, not breathable, something that I could seal it tight, and I sealed it with the rubber band on the side. So for today, for purposes of learning, we're going to use this plastic jar. I'd already put hot water in it just to sterilize it a bit and remove any bacteria that would affect the reaction that is going to happen with our ingredients. So I'll just pour this water out, and then we'll come back and assemble our pickle. We're just going to take our cucumbers and just drop them in the jar. Just as quick. You can put them in neater ways, as cute as you want them to look, but they still look cute even when you put them randomly. So I'm just dropping in my cucumbers and tapping a bit to create room for the rest. I think they will all fit in. So if you have time, just invest in a glass jar. That would really help, and it will really go a long way. So I'm going to take sugar. So for the sugar, depending on your taste buds, from 1/4 cup to 3/4 to even 1 cup is okay. So the sweeter you like it, the better. So I put about 2/4 and just a little bit more. Then I'm going to need 1 cup of vinegar. So I won't go heavy on the vinegar actually. Last week when I made it, the vinegar was very pronounced, but it made a very tasty pickle juice that I took today afternoon when it was chilled. It was so yummy. After I've done that, I'm going to get 1 cup of water. So you need filtered water. So you just give me a minute, I'll get filtered water and put it in. So my water, then I'll pour it inside. So I put some boiled water, but it had cooled a bit, so I put it in the pickle. So you can add more vinegar, add more water until it fills the jar up, and then you close your jar. And then you can give it a bit of a swirl. This is how it looks like. You can mix everything in a jar before pouring in, but I just put everything individually, then I give it a bit of a shake. Probably every day I'll give it a bit of a shake, and that is it, your cucumber pickle. For our second pickle, which is the chili pickle, pretty simple, different recipe. Now we're using salt instead of sugar, although pickles depends on what you really like, so you can put in sugar instead if you want something sweet and sour. For me, I prefer the salt, so we'll just get into it. So the first thing you want to do is remove these parts of the chilies. Clean your chilies well. So everything I present here, I always clean them off camera, so I don't just use them from the grocery. So always remember to clean your hands, clean your surface, and you know it's corona time, you have to clean all the time with soap and water. So once you remove those, put them on the side. What you want to do is slice your chilies. So you can slice them in different styles. You can just strip straight. You can strip them straight, just to open them up so that when the vinegar gets inside them, they are flavored and the salt flavors them. So you can do this to a few depending on how you like biting them, and some you can just dice into smaller bits. So I'm the chili fan in the house, that's why we are not doing a lot of pickle, because I know I'm the only one who will eat them. So I've chopped everything, as you can see. The next step is just taking salt. It can be a tablespoon, half a tablespoon, whichever way you like it. So for me, I'm just eyeballing. So with this salt, you'll just rub it on the chili so that it can get some salt. Then once you rub it, you'll start assembling it inside your jar. So luckily I have a glass jar and I passed it through boiled water so that it can remove any bacteria that was lingering in. So at least we have a glass jar, and this pickle is ready to eat the next day, and every other pickle. So as the days go by, the taste gets better and better. Remember, when you're handling hot pepper, kindly don't rub your eyes with your hands that have touched paper. So I'm gonna take these pieces and just drop them in. Oops, doesn't want to go in. So this is what you have. Sorry, this is what you have, guys. So what you're going to do You're going to just eyeball. You don't have to measure all the time. By the time you do this a couple of times, you get a hang of it. So I'll just pour enough that almost covers the paper. So guys, are you seeing how many things vinegar can do? So many things, and it really is an enjoyable component in the kitchen. You must have vinegar in your kitchen unless the doctor does not allow you to take vinegar. So this is what we have. We're going to cover it. So this was a coffee jar. So coffee that finished, I always keep all the coffee jars. I use them for storage of spices. When I make coconut oil, I keep it in. Very soon I'll show you how to do the coconut oil. So this is our chili pickle, and we are done in very few minutes. And we are done. Ta-da! Do you guys remember the days of school when your teacher was pointing on the board? So this is the cucumber pickle, this is the chili pickle, and this is the apple cider vinegar. We're going to monitor it for 2 weeks. So we're going to check it on Sunday when I do my next video and see how it looks like. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it will really be beneficial for you in your kitchen, and we're going to learn more things in future. So I wish you a happy weekend, a great week ahead, and see you on our next vlog. Toodles!